Let me tell you about the richest people I know. They don't wear designer labels. They don't drive flashy cars. In fact, if you pass them on the street, you'd have no idea they're loaded. That's because real wealth isn't about what you see. It's about what you don't see. Today, I'm sharing the 7 habits of quietly wealthy people, the ones who've cracked the code to building real money without the noise. And trust me, habit 5, that's the game changer. Let me paint you a picture of how quietly wealthy people handle their money. It's almost boring how simple they make it look. These people have cracked one of the biggest secrets to building wealth. They've removed emotion and willpower from the equation entirely. Instead of waking up every payday and debating whether to save this month or spend, they've set up systems that work silently in the background like a team of financial robots working for them 24/7. Imagine this. The moment their paycheck hits their account, magic happens. A portion automatically gets whisked away to their emergency fund until it's fully stocked. Another chunk quietly slips into their investment account before they even see it. Their bills paid automatically without a single late fee or stressful due date reminder. I implemented this system myself a few years back, and the transformation was remarkable. Suddenly, saving wasn't this painful monthly decision. It just happened. Investing wasn't something I had to psych myself up for. The money was already where it needed to be. The real brilliance here is in understanding human psychology. We all have those moments of weakness, that voice that whispers, maybe just this month I'll skip saving, or I really want those new shoes instead of investing. Quietly wealthy people don't fight these impulses with willpower. They make it so the right financial decisions happen automatically before temptation even has a chance to surface. They treat their finances like a sophisticated machine. Once they've programmed it properly, it runs itself. The money knows exactly where to go, like trains running on perfect schedules to their designated destinations. No emotional debates, no rationalizations, no I'll start next month procrastination. Just systematic wealth building happening in the background while they go about their lives. This automation extends beyond just savings. Their investments follow dollar cost averaging without them lifting a finger. Their retirement accounts grow without constant monitoring, and their financial foundation strengthens itself month after month. The most surprising part? Once you set this up, you almost forget about it until one day you look up and realize how much progress you've made without any of the usual financial stress and decision fatigue that most people deal with constantly. It's the ultimate set it and forget it approach to building wealth. And it works because it removes our unreliable human nature from the equation. The system doesn't get distracted. It doesn't have weak moments, and it never decides to splurge instead of save. It just quietly, consistently builds wealth in the background while you live your life. The quietly wealthy have a completely different relationship with spending that most people never understand. While others chase trends and flashy logos, these individuals approach purchases with a calculated, almost surgical precision. They're not cheap, far from it, but every dollar they spend is put under a microscope of value assessment. Take something as simple as footwear, where most people might buy 3 pairs of $50 pair cents trendy shoes that fall apart in a season. The quietly wealthy will invest $200, 0 cents, in a quality pair that lasts a decade. On the surface, it looks like they're spending more, but break it down and they're actually spending less per wear while getting better quality. This mindset extends to every purchase. They'll drive a reliable used car that holds its value rather than financing a new luxury vehicle that depreciates the moment it leaves the lot. Their homes are comfortable and functional rather than oversized status symbols bleeding money in maintenance and taxes. Even small daily purchases get this treatment. They'll pay more for a durable water bottle that lasts years rather than constantly replacing cheap ones. What's fascinating is how this applies to big ticket items. They might spend generously on a high quality mattress that improves their sleep and lasts 15 years, but bulk at expensive decorative items that serve no purpose beyond impressing others. Their kitchens have fewer but higher quality tools that actually get used. Their wardrobes are smaller but filled with versatile, well-made pieces. This value-first approach creates a powerful compounding effect. Over time, they spend less while owning better things that last longer. They avoid the cycle of constant replacement and the hidden costs of cheap goods. More importantly, they free up money to invest while still enjoying superior quality in their daily lives. It's not about deprivation. It's about redirecting spending from things that lose value to things that retain or create value. The quietly wealthy understand that true luxury isn't about the price tag everyone can see, but about the long-term value only the owner experiences. They derive satisfaction not from others recognizing their spending, but from knowing they've made the smartest possible choice with every dollar. This disciplined approach to consumption becomes second nature, creating a lifestyle where their money works harder for them in every aspect of their lives. Expend. Key point habit 3. They care about net worth, not income. Without any heading in 400 words, don't add any ending sentence and make it lengthy. The quietly wealthy understands something fundamental that most people miss entirely. Your income means nothing if it all disappears out the other end. They could be making $50,000, 0 cents, or $500,000, 0 cents. But what truly matters is what sticks, what accumulates, what builds over time. While others brag about their salaries and bonuses, these individuals are quietly tracking a far more important number: the gap between what they own and what they owe. They've learned through experience that a high earner who spends every dime is actually poorer than a modest earner who consistently saves and invests. This mindset shift changes everything. Instead of asking, how can I make more? They're constantly asking, how can I keep more? They measure success not by the size of their paycheck, but by the growth of their assets, their investment accounts, their real estate equity, their business valuations. They know the harsh truth that income can disappear overnight: a job loss, an industry downturn, an unexpected life event, but net worth provides real security. This focus manifests in daily decisions. They'll negotiate their 401k match as aggressively as their salary. They'll spend hours researching tax strategies that protect their wealth rather than just chasing higher gross income. They understand that a dollar saved is actually worth more than a dollar earned because it's already been taxed. Their financial statements tell the real story. While others see monthly cash flow, they're watching the long-term trajectory of their balance sheet. This net worth focus creates powerful behaviors. They're more likely to invest windfalls than spend them. They calculate the true cost of purchases in terms of future lost investment growth. They make career choices based on wealth building potential rather than just immediate compensation. Over time, this difference in perspective creates an enormous wealth gap between those who focus on what comes in and those who focus on what stays and grows. The quietly wealthy don't just earn money, they cultivate it, nurture it, and most importantly, keep it working for them long after the initial effort of earning it has passed. Their financial security doesn't come from their ability to generate income today, but from the assets they've accumulated that will generate income for them indefinitely. The quietly wealthy operate on an entirely different timeline than everyone else. While most people are caught up in the monthly cycle of paychecks and bills, these individuals are playing a much longer game. They see money not as something to be spent immediately, but as seeds being planted for a harvest that won't fully mature for years or even decades. This long-term perspective changes every financial decision they make. Where others might stress about squeezing out an extra $100, 0 cents this month, they're focused on how today's choices will compound over 20 years. They understand at a deep level that financial success isn't about quick wins or temporary gains, but about consistent, patient accumulation. This mindset allows them to make choices that seem counterintuitive in the moment: driving older cars while their peers lease new ones, living in modest homes while others stretch for McMansions, investing consistently even when markets are volatile. They can do this because they've done the math. They know that $500, 0 cents invested monthly at 7% becomes nearly $600,000, 0 cents in 30 years. They visualize their future selves and make today's decisions accordingly. This long-term thinking extends beyond just investments. They choose careers with growth potential rather than just immediate paychecks. They build skills that will be valuable for decades rather than chasing short-term trends. They prioritize health and relationships, knowing these pay the biggest dividends over time. When setbacks occur, they don't panic because they're focused on the multi-decade trajectory, not the monthly fluctuations. This patience creates a powerful advantage. Where others chase get-rich-quick schemes or make emotional money moves, the quietly wealthy stay the course, trusting in the exponential growth of time and compound returns. They measure progress in years, not months, which allows them to ignore temporary market dips or economic cycles. Their financial plans aren't based on what might happen next quarter, but on where they want to be in retirement. This decades-long perspective gives them the courage to make unconventional choices today that will lead to extraordinary results tomorrow. They understand that true wealth isn't built in days or months, but through the steady, disciplined accumulation of small advantages that multiply. The quietly wealthy understand one fundamental truth about money that most people never grasp. Relying on a single source of income is like building your financial house on a foundation of sand. They know that no matter how impressive their salary might be, it represents a fragile lifeline that could be cut unexpectedly through job loss, industry disruption, or personal circumstances. This awareness drives them to systematically construct multiple channels of income that work independently of their time and effort. Unlike the common misconception that this requires endless side hustles or sleepless nights, their approach is far more strategic and sustainable. They might have a primary career, but they'll also cultivate passive income streams through carefully selected investments that pay dividends or rental properties managed by professionals. They understand the power of intellectual property, creating books, courses, or patents that generate royalties long after the initial work is done. Some develop small but profitable businesses that operate without their daily involvement, while others master the art of turning hobbies into income-generating assets. The key distinction is that they don't trade all their time for money. They build systems that create value, whether they're actively working or not. This diversification provides an extraordinary safety net that most people never experience. When economic downturns hit or industries shift, they have alternative cash flows to cushion the blow. More importantly, these multiple streams create a compounding effect, where the income from one source can be reinvested to grow another. They approach income generation like a gardener, planting different crops. Some provide quick returns, others mature slowly, and together they ensure there's always something producing. This strategy fundamentally changes their relationship with money, removing the scarcity mindset that plagues those dependent on a single paycheck. It gives them the freedom to make career choices based on passion rather than desperation, to weather financial storms without panic, and to see opportunities where others see only risks. The quietly wealthy don't just work for money, they build ecosystems where money works for them in multiple ways simultaneously, creating resilience and abundance that lasts far beyond any single job or economic cycle. The quietly wealthy have mastered one of the most difficult psychological tricks with money. They've learned to resist the natural human tendency to let spending rise alongside income. While most people fall victim to lifestyle inflation the moment they get a raise or bonus, these individuals exercise remarkable restraint, maintaining their standard of living even as their earnings grow substantially. This discipline creates an ever-widening gap between what they earn and what they spend, a gap that becomes the fuel for their wealth-building engine. They understand that every dollar diverted to unnecessary upgrades is a dollar that could have been working for them through investments, a dollar that loses its compounding potential forever. When their salary increases, they don't immediately think about nicer apartments or luxury cars. They calculate how much faster they can reach financial independence by maintaining their current lifestyle. This isn't about deprivation or miserliness, but about intentional choice. They might live in the same neighborhood they could afford when they first started working, not because they have to, but because they recognize that moving to a more expensive area would trigger a cascade of inflated costs. Pricier restaurants, higher expectations for clothing and cars, more expensive social circles. They've seen how easily keeping up with the Joneses can derail financial progress, how lifestyle creep quietly consumes raises and bonuses until people find themselves earning six figures, but still living paycheck to paycheck. The quietly wealthy break this cycle by establishing clear boundaries between needs and wants, between practical upgrades and status spending. They might allow themselves one small treat when income increases, a slightly better bottle of wine, a modest vacation upgrade, but the bulk of any raise gets automatically diverted to savings and investments before they can grow accustomed to spending it. This habit creates a powerful flywheel effect. The more they earn without inflating their lifestyle, the more they can invest, which generates even more income to invest, accelerating their path to true financial freedom. They derive satisfaction not from outward displays of wealth, but from watching their net worth climb, knowing that their restraint today is purchasing their freedom tomorrow. The quietly wealthy possess a rare superpower when it comes to financial turbulence. They remain calm when everyone else is losing their heads. While the masses react emotionally to market crashes, economic downturns, or personal financial setbacks, these individuals operate from a place of calculated rationality. They've mentally prepared for volatility long before it arrives, understanding that crises are inevitable in any wealth-building journey. This preparation allows them to see opportunities where others see only disaster. When markets tumble, they don't frantically sell, they methodically assess which assets have become undervalued. When industries shift, they don't cling to obsolete strategies, they adapt their skills and investments to the new reality. Their secret lies in having multiple contingency plans already mapped out before trouble hits. They maintain cash reserves not because they're fearful, but because they want dry powder to deploy when bargains appear. They diversify not out of insecurity, but to ensure they always have options. This emotional discipline stems from their long-term perspective. They know that overreacting to short-term events is the surest way to derail decades of progress. During the 2008 financial crisis, while others were liquidating investments at the worst possible time, the quietly wealthy were calmly rebalancing portfolios and acquiring quality assets at fire sale prices. They approach financial setbacks like chess masters, thinking several moves ahead rather than reacting to the immediate threat. This ability to pivot rather than panic comes from their strong financial foundation. Ample savings, minimal bad debt, and multiple income streams give them the breathing room to make thoughtful decisions rather than desperate ones. They've trained themselves to view market corrections as necessary resets rather than catastrophes, understanding that volatility is the price of admission for long-term wealth creation. The financial plans include buffers and shock absorbers specifically designed to handle turbulence, allowing them to stay focused on their ultimate goals even when the short-term outlook appears bleak. This emotional control creates a self-reinforcing cycle. The less they react to temporary setbacks, the more their wealth compounds over time, which in turn gives them even greater stability to weather future storms. Their true advantage isn't in avoiding crises, but in developing the mental framework and practical systems to emerge from each challenge stronger than before. What makes the quietly wealthy truly different isn't luck, privilege, or some secret investment. It's their habits, the way they automate their money like clockwork, spend with ruthless value in mind, and measure success by what they keep, not what they earn. The way they play the long game, stacking small advantages over decades while others chase quick wins. How they build multiple income streams so no single setback can break them. Resist lifestyle inflation even when their paycheck grows, and stay cool-headed when everyone else panics. These habits aren't complicated, but they are powerful because wealth isn't about one big move. It's about the daily choices, the systems, the discipline. It's about doing what most people won't so you can live how most people can't. So ask yourself, which of these habits will you start with? Pick one, master it, then move to the next. Because the quietly wealthy weren't born that way. They built it. And you can too. Now go make it happen. I'll see you on the other side. Wealth isn't what you spend, it's what you keep.